Well, I mean, I think the first 100 meter in school history says it all. Anytime you can do something that we've never done before, that's a huge step in the right direction. The competition was stiff too. I mean, she had to really make the girl from Texas A&M, I can't remember her name,
Kamari Brown,
absolutely uncomfortable, and that was the plan. You got to get out and got to get people uncomfortable, and hopefully get a chance to win. And she executed the plan perfectly. And with the 60 and a 2 and a 2 on the same day, that's 3 pretty aggressive races back to back to back. So get that lower body back in shape and get ready for tomorrow.
So let's just break it down event by event tomorrow. So we'll actually start with Dez in the 60.
Well, I mean, right now being the fastest in the NCAA, all you got to do is sort of defend your turf. Everybody clearly knows who to beat and who the person to beat, especially after the 200. It's clear that they're going to come after her. And the goal is just to go out there and execute. Just do what you can do. Just do what you've been doing all year. And nobody this year has run as fast as you have. So if you do exactly what you've been doing, you should be able to prevail. You know, on top of that, you're a great competitor. Just go out there and go for it. So the plan is not going to change. We're just going to go out there and compete and try to beat all these 7 girls and get across the finish line first. And that's keeping it as simple as possible. I'm not talking about no doubles or being the first one to do this and that. It's just one race at a time, win the 60-meter dash, and let's move on to the mile relay.
And then, so we'll just go in order of the prelims tonight. So Matt finished 5th, so he had to sweat a little bit, but then it turned out he made it on time easily. So.
Yeah, I mean, like in the prelims, that's probably the most difficult part of the competition. You know, in the final, it's pretty simple. There's 12 guys in there. You beat as many as you can. You get as many points as you possibly can. But in the prelims, you're trying to run and qualify, but you don't want to run too fast, so you can't come back the next day. So you got strategy involved. You got fear of kind of burning yourself out. You got decision-making process, when to go, when not to go, and plus you're nervous because you haven't been in that position ever before. So I think once you get past the first round, same thing with Kenny, getting past the first round is very, very difficult, especially if you've never made a final before. In Matt's case, you've never made a final before. You had the NCAA, you have a chance to do something special. You have to get through the very first step, and that first step is so blurry. You have no idea what you really need to do and how fast to run to go out there and make it, because it also depends on the other competitors. And he did a fantastic job advancing.
And then Allie just a great kick to finish 3rd in her heat.
Absolutely. You know, just finishing strong, whenever you can use your kick to get back in there, that shows that you're in command of your body and your emotions, and that you're making yourself do things that you're deciding to do, as opposed to just kind of getting in the front end and sort of dying. So her running that way is great, and we're just hoping that we'd be a little bit closer to the front tomorrow and having that same kick and pick up some big points for the team. And then also for Allie, she's never been in that position before. You know, never qualified for an open event, never been in the NCAA final. So all these are freshmen. You know, they're NCAA freshmen. There are people that have never been in this position where we expect them to do well, and the University of Kentucky expect them to do well, and the UK community expect them to do well, and that's difficult when you've never had a chance to experience that. But once you do it once, it gets significantly easier.
So you already touched on Kenny, but kind of just another step towards her goal.
Absolutely, just an ugly race, and it couldn't be a poorly executed race. And then again, you know, people thinking that Kenny runs 7:94. She's had 5 times under the 8:00. That's great, but in the end, you got to think that she's never made an NCAA 60-meter dash final, you know, the 60-meter hurdle final. So this is new territory. So being the favorite has nothing to do with it. You have never been in a position where you've lined up and overcome your nerves and succeeded. So her having that poor of a start and coming back and getting back in the race shows that, okay, at least we're moving in the right direction. I think you're going to see a completely different Kenny tomorrow, because now it's like the worst part is done. I've never made the final before. Now I've made it, and now I can go out there and run. Same thing with SEC's.